So let's broaden this to the Democratic leadership as a whole,
Yeah.
who have been in control of Congress since 2006.
Right.
Sort of. In some ways they have, in some ways they haven't.
Right.
But recently they passed a bill legalizing warrantless wiretapping and giving retroactive immunity to telecom and cable companies for breaking the law and wiretapping American citizens, or doing something, we don't actually know what. What do you think about the bill? And one thing that's always striking to me is how, even though a lot of Democrats, majority of Democrats voted against it, not one Democrat would criticize their own leaders, the Steny Hoyers of the world, who cut the deal with the White House to immunize these telecom and cable companies.
Well, let me say this. I've been a Democrat my entire life. My mother's a Democrat. My family are Democrats, and so I'm a proud Democrat. But I will say this for the record. I think the Democratic Party has been so spooked by the Republicans, by the right wing in this country since the ascension of Ronald Reagan in 1980, that we've allowed the Republicans to control the conversation, even though we had Bill Clinton in office for 8 years, even though we now control the Congress, to the point where we've lost our backbone. We've become, a lot of us have become very spineless Democrats. And as a result, we won't even criticize our own leadership that pushed through this immunity for telecom companies that basically is saying it's okay for American citizens to be spied on any level, which is unfortunate. As a community organizer, as a political activist, I know the history of this. Dr. King was spied upon. We know many political groups in this country who happen to say, we love our country so much that we're going to criticize the war in Vietnam or the war in Iraq. We're going to criticize environmental policies of this country. We're now saying that those folks can be spied on. We're saying that someone like the person we just met, Cynthia Butts, who has a community organization called Fury, that simply wants affordable housing, just wants quality of life stuff, she could be spied upon because she happens to be a quote-unquote dissident to some people. That's how extensive this is. And in a democratic country, and a democratic party, our responsibility should be to protect the civil rights of every single citizen in this country. And we can't afford to continue to cave in, as Democrats, even to Democratic leadership that pushes us in. And I can tell you, as a congressman, when I get there in January 2009, I don't care who the congressional leadership is. I will say to them, this is unacceptable. We have a responsibility to craft our own direction as leaders. We cannot continue to toe a line that's been reactionary and detrimental to the American people.